getting regular playing time, and the team is playing well when you're on the floor. What's it meant to you to be able to be in this position?
Well, I'm super grateful to get this opportunity to play, and it's really like every chance you get to play, like it speeds your development up. So like for me, like I'm trying to be the best player I can be. So like playing NBA minutes don't compare to anything else in the world. Like they're literally the best minutes you can get. So anytime I get some, even if I don't play well, I'm trying to learn from, all right, well, what did I do wrong? How can I make the next minute better? So I think that's the thing that I've been trying to work on the most, and just staying focused on that. Honestly, there's so many games you can't really get caught up in like feeling good about it, because the next game somebody's going to hit you in the mouth. So yeah, just taking one day at a time.
Anthony, what's your assessment of how well things are going for the second unit? Because maybe even 5 games ago it didn't look like this.
Yeah, we've been doing extra film, taking the time that we need to, I guess, get more connected. The stars have been playing years together, so for like this is my first time playing with probably any of these guys ever. So it's like I'm a month deep playing with these guys. So just trying to get as close as we can together is it's starting to pay off, and it's continuing to build up and build up. So by the time we really need those minutes from the bench guys, it's going to be looking really good.
Last game in Dallas was the first time like all of the bench was in plus, the starters were actually in the negative. What specifically in that game just felt really good in those second unit minutes that you guys want to carry forward? Yeah,
I felt like we played more of the Warriors basketball that we were trying to get to, playing unselfishly, just looking for our patterns, our looks, the reads that we're trying to get to. Like the first unit's really good at, and I think we got to a lot more of that and let the game come to us. I think at first everybody was trying to feel out like where they fit into the system, but I think everybody has like a good idea about it now. So I think that's what you saw last game, was like we sort of figured it out a little bit.
Steve was saying it was halftime at that Houston game, which he decided to put Draymond in with you guys a little bit more. Do you feel that, I don't want to say bought you guys time, but kind of helped you learn how to play with each other, because Draymond he kind of helped control the pace, direct traffic a little bit more, so now maybe you don't have to have him out there as much, but
yeah, he's like a master orchestrator. Like that's like, I think the most amazing thing I've seen about like playing with Draymond is like he doesn't have to talk as much, because his communication is so direct and very precise. So like he's telling you early where you need to be, or he'll point and just real quick, and I'll know exactly where I need to go. So like little stuff like that for me, it helps me. Like it makes it real simple. So when I get out there, especially playing with him, I learn like, okay, well, I can be a little more patient in the corner. I can wait for this action. He's hold up a little bit, wait a step, and I think that's what he does, and he gives especially young guys that haven't played in the system for so long, because he knows it so well that like everything seems a lot slower when he gets on the court. So I think that does definitely helped us with our, I guess, development and playing together. So it made every read easier. So we got a little more experience at it.
What are your kind of general thoughts on the two-way contract rules and really just the implementation of it? It's still a pretty new thing in the league, and it's obviously something that you're under.
Yeah, I mean, this has been my only NBA experience, like two-way experience, and I guess a 10-day. So it's all I really know, and I really just understand how fluid it is. Like I've seen, like you could be on a two-way one day and like gone the next, like in a lot of places, and it's really quick. So you have to be very aware and alert about what the situation you're in. It's not like you have a multi-year deal. Like every day counts, every rep, every second counts, every chance you get on the court counts. And I think two-way guys and inner rotation guys like know that. So I don't take that for granted. Like every chance I get, I'm trying to learn, trying to get better. I'm not going to get down on myself and be stuck in it, because I know if I waste the next minute, then that's just going to spiral me, you know. So any chance I get, I'm just trying to do what I can to keep my spot and gain more, you know.
They've changed the rules a bunch over the years. I remember the first year it was like 45 days. Like they'd have to limit practice time for guys. Now it's at 50 games. How much are you? I mean, do you have like a countdown clock in your mind, or
to my games? Not really. Again, it's like you play so much, like you can't really focus on that as much. I think they'll probably talk to me more as it got closer to that number. But as for all 50 games, I'm give what I got, you know. So.
I guess the last one on that. Do you like the two-way rules? I mean, do you like it? It's obviously something that's given you an opportunity in the league, but I know it is kind of I guess some of the rules implemented within it can be a little challenging for guys.
I mean, it's like speaking candidly, like honestly, it's given me an opportunity to play in the NBA, so like I'm extremely grateful for it. But like the comparison between like a two-way contract and the G League is like unbelievable. Like the difference in the gap. So like even if you aren't a regular roster guy, getting an opportunity to play on that is Like, it's such a better situation to be in, and like that's why I'm so grateful. Like, I get to really be able to like pay for stuff, like feed my family, sort of. You know what I mean? So, like, being able to have that, even though I'm not on the roster, like I'd much rather be on a two-way than not. You know? So even if there isn't 17 spots, I'm glad that they added the extra 2, so I have an opportunity to show what I can do and still get a peek at the NBA and still learn in the process. You know.
Now that you got some more games under your belt, are you kind of aware of what your scouting report is, you know, to opposing teams? How are they guarding you, and what adjustments have you had to make?
I don't really think they have really paid attention to me yet. We have so many really good players that are probably the last thing on their mind. So really, I'm just taking advantage of that as much as I can. So like anytime I can get a quick advantage or get a quick read or get a quick look to the rim, then I'll take it. And then still use like my ability to get to the rim to create wide open shots, you know. So using like human instinct, like if somebody gets a wide open look, I can ball fake and kick out to somebody that's open just as easily as I can score it, you know. So just still taking advantage of that confusion that people don't really know me as much.
I know you said you would probably start talking to the coaching staff a little bit more when you get closer to that 50-game mark, but Steve, while talking in Dallas, said that at some point they're going to have to look at the numbers and want to kind of save you for maybe later on in the season. Have you had any conversations about that?
No, I haven't had any right now. I've just been playing. I don't think it's like close enough for that yet. I don't know. I probably still have like upper 30s left.
Is there maybe college or your experience in the G League that sort of lent itself to helping you acclimate to this sort of style of basketball here?
It's different because like in college I played like 4-5. Like I was sort of like stretch 5 center. In like my early years I was playing out of the post a lot. So like especially like when we run our like post split game, like I learned how to pass out of post really well. So I think that helped me. But I think in the G League with the Vipers, I got exposed to like every different position I could possibly be in, like playing point, playing on the wing, playing center. And I think that really helped me just be not just like a positional player, but just like have all that versatility that you really need in the system. It's like you have to play with your mind and not just like run to the same spots every time. You got to be able to make a read and make a play at the right time, because if you're late, then everything doesn't work as well, you know? So I think just getting used to that and understanding like the game's more fluid than a lot of people try to make it to be, it's helped me a lot, and it's able to show here at the highest level.
Your teammates and your coaches have talked about how well you fit into the system here, and the system can be complicated for a lot of people. How much study did you study this team very much before you showed up, and how much of it has just been because you got here and you kind of figured out what they like to do and what works for you?
Well, it kind of helps that like they're going to the finals almost every year, so you get to watch them a lot in the playoffs. So I've seen so much Warrior stuff like growing up that it's sort of like I've had a feel for like what they try to do or what their looks are. But definitely like when I got here, I was just watching and just picking up and seeing how the starters like play together, like what they're looking for, like the subtleties of just the way they move or how they slip out of screens and stuff like that. Like you don't really get that experience watching on TV, but like it's very apparent when I went from watching to actually seeing these guys in the gym, like how sharp some of the stuff they do really is.
They often talk about how and nobody plays like Steph. You know, he's so different from anybody else. As a spectator, when you're watching them play on TV or whatever, are you able to see that?
It's crazy because, like, you get normalized to how amazing he is at playing basketball and shooting the rock. Like every day, like I see him do something like that looks so smooth and effortless to him, but I know how difficult it is as a basketball player. And it's cool to like be able to see it and like see highlights of it and watch it back. But like when you're watching it in like live action, like it's just so seamless. Like that's the most amazing part to me, is like it seems so natural. And I think like that's the part that like nobody plays like him, because sometimes it looks really difficult for guys to get their spots. For him, it's like I'm reading this, they come up too high, I'm passing it off. Okay, they're not close enough, I got enough room to shoot. Okay, you step up too late, fake, go to the rim. Like he has all his stuff really well put together. And like that's what I love watching and being able to see and learn from.
Hey, the NBA is contemplating whether to add mental health days to the injury reports. You've opened up about some of your feelings at Vermont, the depression that you went through. Would you see a benefit to adding a mental health designation to the injury report?
Oh, yeah. I think I would have to see how it would be implemented, because to me, like, mental health is really important. It's really important to be able to take care of yourself and do the work ahead of time. But at that same point, like, because you know, like, the schedule and you know, like, where the games are, like, I think a lot of the work has to be done beforehand. Like for me, like, my journey, like, I've struggled with depression. I struggle with things that a lot of people go through, and a lot of people know how, like, sometimes it really takes you out of the stuff you want to do day to day. But being able to learn and grow and I guess work with people beforehand has given me, I guess, the ability to navigate my own mental terrain better than I was when I was in college, or better than I was when I was younger. So, like, the more experience I get with that and more work I put beforehand, it gives me more confidence going into, like, some of the stuff. And because it's, like, it's something, like, you only get 82, and in my perspective, I guess I'm also in the mindset where it's like I'm on a two-way, so every day counts, so it's harder to say that. But I think the more work we do to, I guess, front load the stuff we do for mental health is so you won't have to get to that point. I mean, if somebody's having a day when they get to a point and you need it, I think that's something that should be allowable. But I feel like the more work and the more fluently we can talk about it, and I guess if somebody's struggling, get that help before it gets to that point where you would need to take a whole day off. I think if we can do that work, even on an off day or practice day or travel day, to communicate that, work with that person, work through their issues so they can get their self functioning at the highest level, because it's like, this is the highest level of basketball. So being able to play, but also have to deal with your own stuff is hard sometimes. But that's why, like, the best can do it, like, I guess, more consistently. And I think that's something that comes with, like, getting paid, like, so much money and having to do so much. Being able to learn yourself and learn how to navigate yourself, but also know that you have a job to do at the same time here, and balancing both of those in, like, the respective times.
Do you feel like that's a type of injury management that you're doing all the time? It sounds like you're trying to recognize the things that might prompt you to feel a certain way. Do you feel like injury management is...
Yeah, so, like, the same way, like, I have to do soft tissue work, like, if my legs are sore, I think it's even more important to do the mental work or the reps you do, or say you don't know how to work through something yourself, like, being able to go to somebody that can help. Just like we got physical trainers to help you with your body or your soft tissue or your skeletal structure, like, stuff like that. Like, we should have more access to people that can help navigate stuff that we go through in our heads. And it's like, for me, like, I'm always learning, I'm always growing, and a lot of my work is on myself. Like, almost all the stuff I do is working on myself and how I can go day to day and be a better version of myself. Because, like, I realize no matter how much I study or read or pick up something, I might become really rich, but if I can't, like, navigate what's going on in here, like, I'm not going to be satisfied, I'm not going to be consistent, and I'm not going to be able to do what I love to do every day. So, like, everything I do is like, all right, well, how am I feeling today? How can I get out of a space that I don't want to be in? How can I see that before it comes so I don't get trapped? Because sometimes, like, all right, like, now I'm spiraling, I don't know, now I'm stuck. Like, I'm spiraling, like, I don't know how to get out of here now. Now I have to, like, sort of wait it out or buy my time, or like, I can't even, like, talk myself out of this right now. I just sort of I'm sitting in it, and I don't know how to get out. So, like, for me, like, I started to see when those times are, and I have to say, like, oh, like, hold on, bro. Like, you got to find something. You got to do something for you. Take time away. Like, when you go home or whatever it is, take extra time. Come to the gym a little later. Like, whatever it is you got to do, don't keep going down that path, because you know it's harder to get out of there once you go all the way, you know?
Is it difficult to have a job like yours and make space for your mental health?
I mean, this is one, I mean, I can't, like, a lot of people have a lot of really difficult jobs, and, like, they do a lot of things more important than playing basketball. But, like, as far as, like, the travel and everything that you do with your time constraints, that's the hardest part, I would say, about it. So just being, like back-to-back travel day, going to the road, like, you don't have much time to where you just focus on your own stuff. I'd say that's probably the hardest part. So it's like you have to do a lot of work, even at times where you just feel like, I just want to chill. Like, no, like, I have to make sure that I'm locked in, or I'm taking the time to refresh so I can be locked in again, and like, when it comes to, like, when the lights turn on, you know? No problem.